that's the end of this project. It's not so soft at the edges nor at the corners, and it's pretty good. Okay, stop. Here is how I made a home judo, dojo, jiujitsu floor. You may. It's important to know that I'm not a judo expert or a foam expert or a carpentry expert. I'm not a black belt in anything. So do all this at your own liability. I wanted to do this in my basement because this was the only place where I could do a 10 by 10 foot area. And when you should make sure you have enough height. Unfortunately, I have only 7 feet in my basement from floor to ceiling, which is not enough for grown-up judo, as my coach says. But this is what I have. Then the other requirement I had was that there should be enough access in the basement. So I may need to dismantle the mats at some point. The first step is buy your mats. You will need 4 1 meter by 2 meter judo tatami and 1 half mat in the center. The best resource is to get them from Zebra mats. They are high quality, and these were used tournament mats, so I got them for $100 each, and I paid a total of $480. This was a good deal. Then you'll need foam blocks, Ethafoam 220, cut into small 3-inch by 3-inch squares. You buy the foam blocks already cut from Wisconsin Foam. They were very good folks. Then you will need the plywood sheeting, which I bought 4 by 4 because I couldn't get maneuver 4 foot by 8 foot plywood sheets through the winding staircase into the basement. So this is the outline of your 10 foot by 10 foot. You will have foam blocks glued under the plywood sheeting, and on top of that you will have tempered hardwood sheets, and on top of that will be put the judo tatami. Yeah. So you have 4 foot by 4 foot, and then the plywood sheet is cut into 4 foot by 10. You can get the 4 by 10, you can have it cut at Lowe's or Home Depot, and then you get a 2 foot by 2 foot from Menards, and the 4 foot by 4 foot also from Menards. Trevor at Lowe's recommended these roofing parts to hold the joints together. The edges are jagged and I don't want them to cut the carpet or anything, so I have to grind them smooth. This is one pattern. This is the 2 by 2, 2 by 8, another 2 by 8 perpendicular, and then the 4 by 4s, 4 by foot by 4 foot on that side. Now on top of this we put the hardboard. So we are going to have a layer of 3/8 inch plywood and then 3/16 inch tempered hardboard, and on top of that the tatami mats. I drew a pattern. I'm going to put 5 of these, and as my coach Mike Minton said, measure the surface area of the blocks and divide by the total surface area, and that gives me a coverage percentage of about 8%. It makes it very springy. I worry whether it's too springy. But let's see. Here is why we use Ethafoam or polyethylene 220. It absorbs shock and is very resilient. In fact, if you look up on the internet, it's used for packaging, like museum pieces, very delicate stuff. See, when I step on it, it goes down, and when I take my foot off, it comes all the way back up. It's important to remember also, the absorbent side should get the glue. Otherwise, polyethylene does not stick to anything. If you apply the glue on the absorbent side, then it will stick to the plywood. The skin side is on the floor, will touch the floor. I use Liquid Nails Ultra Quick Grip. Polyethylene does not stick to anything, but because of the foam and the plywood, it will bond. So by the light of the moon, you can see 2 of the layers of the 4x4s. See, this is how you stick it. Say you maybe draw a stick man. And then you put it here. I had to put extra blocks because paradoxically the more blocks you put, the less springy it is, and yet it's better for the board. Otherwise the plywood was tending to split when I turned it around and stood on it. The tempered hardboard is laid on top in opposite fashion. See, like this. With the 4x6s forming a bounding edge. I put in 1 or 2 screws here at each corner, and I'm not very happy with the springiness. It seems to be give more at the corners, at the edges. I don't know. Let's see. The proof of the pudding is in the tasting. It turns out using 2x6s was the right decision because the surface of the mats is level with the rim, but we have to provide a cushion so we don't crack our skulls on it. Whoa, just look at the gap. How did this happen? Crap. These mats are supposed to be 3 meters in length, that is 9.9 feet. But this looks like 2 inches. I've stuffed some foam at the edges, but by and large, if I can say, a mistake I made here was it is soft at the edges. It's very, very soft at the edges. We should have not left a 3-inch space. Look at that. It goes down. There's a problem here. I'm going to redo my floor. I cut out the blocks and I'm going to put it at the edges. It was not fun to pull everything up again, cut out the blocks and stick them back again. But just as in life, one should make small experiments on hypotheses, prototype, observe from failures and learn and recover. I bought a $9 tarp from Menards, cut it in 4 strips and wrapped each piece.